LPT If you lose your dog in unfamiliar terrain, leave your coat overnight for the dog to find. If your dog takes off in a panic when they are in unfamiliar terrain, it may take them a good while to stop panicking and running. By the time they calm down, they may be completely lost. If you have to stop searching at night, you should leave your coat or a blanket that smells like you, your home, your dog at the place you were last together. If the dog retraces its steps at night and finds a familiar item, they will often just lie down on top of it. If you make sure you are back at first light in the morning, you might find them there waiting for you. Speaking from experience, it works. Edit. Here's the story. A buddy and I went woodcutting. We always left the dog in the truck for her safety. When felling a tree, she never had any issues before with the sound of the chainsaw or the thump of a tree falling. And I have no idea what spooked her, but she squeezed through the half-open window and took off. We called and looked for her for about an hour, then continued to cut and load the wood, hoping she would follow the noise back to us. 4 hours later, no dog. We left a coat and her water bowl at the spot where the truck was parked and drove around for 2 hours, hoping we would spot her. No luck. Eventually, with heavy hearts, we went home. The next morning, just before dawn, we went back to the spot where we left the coat, and there she was. Happy, healthy, and mighty hungry, but no worse for the wear. Also socks. Your socks have a stronger smell, and your dog smells that all the time. Due to proximity, I know lads who have lost hunting dogs left their socks at place they last seen the dog. After checking for 3 days, when they went to see if the dog was back, and there she was, wagging her tail. Really good LPT, thanks op. Leaving the socks in or your shirt is a stronger scent. Also, please get a collar and tags on the dog. When someone finds them, they have a call home. So many lost dog posts I see, and the dogs do not have a collar or tags. Personally, my dogs have GPS trackers that have cellular capability. Battery lasts a week between charging. This sounds like a great LPT. Does anyone have any experience with this? And a bowl of water. Doesn't have to be a coat. Just a shirt or something with your stank on it. It's an old hunter's trick when their dog goes off on a chase. That's assuming my dog wants to find me. My grandfather would do this with his hunting beagles if they didn't return to his calls after a hunt. He'd leave his coat at a nearby tree and drive back the next day. It often worked. My dad brought his dog to my soon-to-be husband home for 4th of July. The dog got scared when a neighbor set off some fireworks, and he took off running. We called and called for him, but he didn't come back. My dad had to go back home, 40 miles or so, and said to us, "I'll leave something that smells like me, so he knows to come back." Dad goes in the house and comes back with his tissue paper thin boxer shorts, and leaves them on the steps to the house. I am mortified, and my husband to be is now wondering what kind of family he's marrying into. We go to bed. I wake up early, check the front of the house, and there is the dog, sleeping with his head out on my dad's underwear. I never doubted my dad's wisdom again. And if it's a cat that is a lost, leave their litter around outside the house and nearby. They can trace their scent and get home. This is actually a really good tip, but I'm not leaving until I find my dog. She'd follow me to the ends of the earth, and I'd do the same for her. Alternatively, if you find a coat in unfamiliar terrain, take it and you may have a new pet. Great! Now I've lost my dog and my coat. This also works for girlfriends. Hoodies are preferable to jackets though. The thought of a lost dog running around the forest all scared and panicking is so heartbreaking. especially imagining him finding his owner's jacket on the ground and falling asleep on it because it's as close as he can get to being beside them. But then, in the morning, he hears familiar footsteps in the distance. Then he hears his owner's voice and knows everything will be okay. Once I lost my coat in unfamiliar terrain, so I left my dog overnight. Leave a bag of dirty undies. The whites. I found so many lost dogs wandering the hills that it inspired me to buy a cheap mobile phone to carry with me so I could contact the owner or warden. So far my haul includes a tiny Jack Russell Terrier, a Border Collie, a Dalmatian and a French Bulldog. FYI, lost dogs sniff a lot. They look around a lot, listen, and sometimes they whimper quietly, but most put their trust in the first human they meet, even if they're too scared to fully approach. I think that says a lot about dogs, and I also think it's why they can't be considered just another animal. Although I love all living things, they should have the same legal protections as children, because in essence and emotion they are indeed just very young children seeking someone to love them and give their lives meaning. Just throw your coat on the ground, dummy. Sounds like a brutal rule. A friend's dog took off from his house and ended up at my house 5 days and 10 miles later. It had been to my house once several months before the incident. We found him waiting patiently at our front door. The power of scent for them is insane.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.